Radio Democracy go talk to the Chief Administrator for the Freetown City Council, Festus Kale. We go talk about how the council done the operate after the transition we happened in March this year. The Department of Chief Administrator, now the Freetown City Council, council administration, now for ensure the effective and efficient performance of all the departments within the Freetown City Council. The department they in charge for supervise and coordinate the activity of other staff and department of the Freetown City Council. Well, inside March this year, one memo comes from the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, we have been the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, say all the mayor them now the different council them for left office 1st March this year. And from that ended to now, Festus Kale don't they run the affair of the Freetown City Council activities them. How the transition don't like and waiting on the happen now the council. Festus Kale inside the program today for update the public. Once again, good morning and welcome to the public.
Thank you, Musa. Thank you, the general public.
Okay. As I give that background to your administration or your office in work and also the role we don't play since the transition where the mayor being stepped aside according to the memo from the Ministry of Local Government, you don't act in that capacity or you don't act as head for the Freetown City Council. Out in don't like since then.
Well, thank you very much, Musa. Well, first and foremost, not for the first time this way would they deliver transition. I kind of Freetown City Council in December of 2017. So within that causing our mayor Bode Gibson in the office. So after Bode Gibson stepped aside in December of 2017, now we deliver the transition with a good staff in our Freetown City Council. So if I would remember, I said that same day we'll bring about a series of reform even before Mayor Imaraki so they come back in office. Therefore, make sure we introduce good PFM, public financial management practices, internal control system. Because like what I can, because of my background in finances, I began to make sure I look at the audit reports over the years and see some of the challenges and one of the key challenges will be to make most times Freetown City Council they get a sound audit opinion, and because of how the revenue generated, how was it banked, and right, there are a series of challenges with that regards. So what I do, the first thing I do was I call a general meeting of all the banks them say I want to establish banking outlets within the Freetown building. So if you go to City Council right now, they see all the banks that operate, the Roque Commercial Bank, the Standard Chartered, the UTB, Eco Bank, CMB, Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, all within the building. So it means if you go for pay tax, you go straight to the bank and pay. The issue out paying slip, you just go to the cash office in the City Council and receive receipts. That in itself, even for court leakages very seriously. They will also make sure say with that transition period, we for make sure say we change the revenue structure. In the sense, first time they write demand notes with pen. We decide say for printer, so we digitize everything with regards to demand notes of business license, property rate, you name it. We also make sure say street parking, be generate so much, 154 million per year. Because of that transition, within that transition, they will move from 154 million to 870 million inside 2018. B-Boss and Banner, 160 million, and be the highest collection. Within that transition, they make sure we develop a database. Me and the billboard officer will move right across the city. We count all the billboards and we develop a database. So move from 160 million to 870 million that year. So this is even market use. Market use will be 5, 6, 7 million per day. I make sure I go out now the market with the court tickets. We move, we walk on Dove Court, we walk on Bombay Street. Also sharp increase in terms of what will be the general. So move from the 5, 6 million the court per day to 13, 14 million a day. So we're able to boost our revenue generation within that cause. As a consequence of that, we'll be able to make sure we for pay backlog in salaries will be like 1.something billion loans, all loans. We'll for make sure we provide boots for the mates, go them uniform, ID card, leave allowance. People they go leave from 2015. Nobody pay them. We will for solve all them problems. Then they end of service benefits. We will address all of the issues. And of course, even the contractors, nobody pay them. Right? So they take the loan or they take business, nobody pay. Within that short time, we will address all of the issues. And so make a lot of progress. So this transition, right? It's not the first one. These are the second phase.
Before we can look at progress them or plans them when I don't put in place for run the transition period. Let me look at the transition where mayor not in our office. The role of the CA now the Freetown City Council in any way broaden or still remain the same?
Well, too much difference not there at all. The only difference is like when Mayor Bede, if people don't get issues relating to council, some people can choose to lend a right directly to the political head, right? Or some people they say allow rights to the chief administrator. Or then go visit the mayor, start they raise concerns with them. But now all of them concerns them or correspondence that they can straight to the chief administrator. In terms of responsibility, I don't get that right for instance, within this transition for increased salaries. So let me before the mayor they go, now me and in to make that commitment on the 1st of March on the handing over that to get for increased salary by 2.4 billion all news for this 2023. So that commitment is left and I made a discharge and the rights now. If somebody for invest into council, for instance, like that dump site, somebody for invest there, you get for go through council. Right? If one for taxation, the one for increased tax, or the one for introduce new tax system, all get for go through council. So what's purely with the for one for make sure say we execute the existing budget we get, and also for make sure say the project will not be outstanding project or new development. For example, like Calbaton Market, for example, not get toilet. If we get money, we put toilet there because if you look at the collection of business of just market use, it's about 4 billion. So nothing wrong for go invest like 120 million for make sure so the people of Calbaton get a decent toilet. We can do that. If you look at Bombay Street Market, they don't get decent toilet. The same for Lumley, both Lumley Market and the one at Black Tank. So if we get resources, we can do those ones. But when we require critical decision, we require resolution. We need to take a until new set of council come in.
So in any way, we look at how you don't state the different mandates now of council. It's like you're literally there in charge of everything. Do you get other team and other people who they work with? So is it correct for let somebody refer to you as the acting mayor at this present time?
Well, people that can refer to me as acting mayor, but in reality, I just have to maintain the position of a chief administrator. But that is really what I'm doing. I mean,
and the name you don't like, or you really the act as an acting mayor? Which one?
I just not comfortable with the political nomenclature. I'm comfortable with the chief administrator name.
So let me look at the role where they play as you distinguish within if the mayor in our office, what he go do, and where you do, what you go do within this period. Any project the way you go say council no go able implement or execute or win over without the political head in office.
No, well, I don't know if any project say we for win over, unable to understand the nature of the question.
The nature of the question is that this in any way impede the work of the council for implement certain programs or like for instance go into certain agreements or contract them for uplift the city in any way.
No, like I tell you, if you get for it for increased tax revenue, for example, I can't take that decision. Right? Even for say because mayor not there now or the councillors are not there or can increase salaries, we then get for carry board and get for rest on them. I know we do then cancel. Let me say before me or the left, now we take that decision, for instance, so increase taxes. So in other words, there are certain activities you just can't deliver them right now until the political representation they will account together to administration for taking that kind of decision. And the one we need to focus on right now, make sure we do some small development, like I say, we want to do some toilets, we rehabilitate our old building. Our old buildings will be the rehabilitation right now because it's very necessary. If you look at the movement of staff for them, right, and people that the public where they come for business license alone, certificates, the way that they usually live is terrible. So one for make sure all the one they involved into revenue generation business for move to that old building. So we have a massive rehabilitation, we don't do up to 85% on that old building. These are things we can do with the absence of the mayor or the political wing, right? So if you look at, for example, for clean the cemetery, nothing will not require any political decision. We can do those ones. Or make sure we fence some of the cemetery right now in the absence of the mayor and the political people. We can do those ones. So those are the ones who they focus on right now, other than that we require resolution and political decision.
So in all of their new idea initiative, is it after the transition you get the idea, or you be just a wait for execute them for let us say you get a very good leadership quality?
No, we're not at all. If anybody feels so, either sometimes they don't follow with him upon a city council, because if you look at the audit report, for instance, right, that speaks volume. For the past 5 years, ever in the history of Freetown City Council, we don't get sound or excellent audit reports concept for the past 5 years. Ever happen, right? In terms of, like I tell you, internal control, in terms of revenue, all let's say we don't put the measures in place. So, right, but you also not forget, say, we get a face of the council, we not be the mayor. So you get the responsibility for come and showcase what and transform Freetown plan and how you want for them. Now I'm in governance, I'm in office. I get the responsibility also for can show the people and say, within these 4 months, this is what we've planned for do, and so on for do, and therefore we need the support of the general
How you
public.
go describe your leadership? When you look back the term where the mayor be in our office, I mean, not to be secret, so I don't get a lot of disagreement and other things. Same. Now and all did it again. You think say then 10 away we get disagreement with the mayor based on your own belief and things the way you take and say, I believe if we do this, we'll get them right. You think say in any way it will affect you now if somebody else get a disagreement with you, you go see her like say this person concerns you, I for accept them?
No. once you're very clear, I mean a person way I'm not averse to disagreements. Right? When I can disagree in an institution. Yeah, most say not all things I will agree on. But it's a question of how they make sure say perfect the disagreements for the general good of the administration. So if I get somebody, for instance, with the and say, okay, see, this is how I look at things, they just let's sit and discuss them. But the most important way they make it get support. Now if you look at the whole city, we do massive night cleaning. Right? So if you go Lumley, for instance, first time that you go pack the container they overflowed, the bins them. You can't see that anymore. Go Lumley and Level, let's see.
They can look at the programs them we
Yes.
will implement during this transition period.
Yes.
But within this transition, we just want to get an idea, or the public for get an idea how the council they operate. I earlier asked you for some of the activities that we can undertake or the council will undertake. For instance, there is a coordination or collaboration between councils them maybe within the region or within the African region or outside African region for their agreements them or for their meetings them or for their discussions them. Would that they take that role at this moment?
We say meetings. We get meetings. More say for instance, if we get meetings, we require council attention. Right, whether on capacity building, whether on for collaborate with MDs, we attend meetings and they, right, that they not require, political decision because we say because the mayor no they now things that we require to governance gap no they at all, no they get that kind of gap them. I don't say purely we say the things that we're very much mindful about. I want the way you need it for take as an individual, as an administration. Therefore, make sure say the political wing, they in office, or on a passing resolution in it, because it's a question of mandate, right, and authority. We know we can begin the tax revenue. I know for increased salaries. I don't say these are the areas, but the one we get for the meeting, rather than for travel go abroad, that's our responsibility. Anybody can travel abroad, you can participate in anything in the conferences and all that kind of stuff. So these are things okay before do. But those that requires we get some legal implication, we get for make sure so we actually not touch them.
When you look at council, Mr. Kale, not so secret for so you get people away be in a certain camp or them get cabal. We then can say this now. Mayor young people at camp and something like that. There was kind of a division actually, and now you act in the capacity of the mayor. Are you don't try for letting people and they know say you are work with everybody, you welcome anybody in idea, you get an open space and all of that, because if then set of people and they try for undermine you, I mean you will get difficult for ensure say you able to do all of them things here we don't say you want to do. I don't try for bring everybody together for ensure say whatever cabal people and belong, if people and get extra likeness for somebody, fine. But in any way, enough for affect your leadership within now currently.
Well, I just want to way we still talk about an old event on a new show, all right? But let me say, I don't belong to any cabal.
I need to talk about you. They talk about that workman.
No, listen. I don't get nobody way I take personal because I say something, they approach me. Or some other person way because appreciates me, for instance, I will take and say, I know they do the things I'm supposed to do. In life, you don't get to forget every other person on your side. But I'll put on to you say, if you ever you go to Freetown City Council and ask, 98% of all the staff there, they no say 100% positive, except for take them otherwise. I don't work with each and every staff in Freetown City Council. Right? In life, people get for hurt you, people get for come and say this and all that kind of thing. But if you decide for take them personal stuff to you, don't say, wait, Papa die now you want to go deep and bury. If everything somebody say, for take them personal. So just let them go and move on for the general good. So if I say I don't build a team in terms of revenue mobilization, in terms of sanitation, we get every person is fully on board and every person they take part for the exercise.
You don't talk about things them way una don they do for ensure say the council continue for one expected mandate them and give service to the public as it suppose for be. Now you don't talk about how the transition may start. Like people go and know most of the things them will be there in place, project, structure, and other things them. How they don't they go so far? Because sometimes some people have not an idea this where the person going not go and lay a continue time because they take and say and why this thing becomes successful because it's not my idea and all of that stuff. So people can go and know about the different projects and program that we council be done to implement. If they're still in place or there has been a change.
No, not at all. If you look at, for instance, like I say, even if you look at the salary increments, right, we do on the 1st of March, an idea and the way the mayor and the administration sit down, they agree on, I have the responsibility for carry out that mandate. Say. So if I not say from March, April, going forward, we get for make sure so the salary increments we agree on, we stick to the one day. If you look at the circular we submit for complete, we don't start off since Mayor Day. But we need for complete so they make sure say we create office space there, but then we go for man that submit day. Then a project we don't start. If you look at, for example, our first market, a funny day, and a project we don't start Mayor Day, a funny day, we plan for implement that one day. Even this structure, we don't start that old city building. These are plans we don't get, arrangements we don't get. So there's nothing related to development. Because somebody will say you make sure say you keep them back because you just don't want for let good things come off. No, not at all. So the thing we try for this, we want for make sure we focus the resources for then the way we say the really relevant, you understand, for make sure they improve service delivery and also cut down on cost them.
Earlier, you make mention, say, this is not the first time you manage transition at the Freetown City Council. 2018, you count experience and waiting on during the transition period.
That's right.
For this period, waiting are some of the activities the Mona implement for ensure they will achieve the council aim, like for raise revenue and other one them.
Yeah, just of us, few the things that we want to concentrate on one are sanitation. Okay. They're very much key. All right. The next one are revenue mobilization. The third are security. The fourth, infrastructure, and any other related expenditure. So under sanitation, the first thing we don't decide for focus on night cleaning, right? If I not say, like I tell you, if you go to Lumley now, say then Juba, say they go Levuma, very clean. If that means for others, it will be tempting for take that means in soccer. That's how the environment and the. If you take Wilkins Road, you take Orange Color, Spur Road, say they go Bottom Road, say they come na Jomoge Nyata Road, all of them places and they make sure that we clean every night within that inside and you go to the entire Bible Road, we focus the and Old Road. We want to make sure that we sanitize the city and continue for improve on sanitation. The other aspect is to make sure that despite the fact that we get limited staff, we'll make sure that few numbers of people in the world left daytime, but they also tour the city for sanitation challenge and try for fix them. Now on one side and we're very much focused. But also be in mind say we get financial constraints because we are very much stretched out financially. So with the goodwill of the Honorable Vice President and the Minister of Local Government, and of course, my own big brother, the FS, we don't try for see how they go for continue for support because the city really look large for we in terms of logistics, PPEs, tools, and also make sure so we increase on the labor.
You make mention of places the moon are they clean, but you don't make mention of the city center. Which side business to take place? What did the council they do for ensure they clean them places there also? As some place them dirty can day for some days. As for instance now you go by model old road by the fence, they see dirty the way you don't take long time day. The moment this morning.
No. I disagree. Say dirty they take long time. Listen, people every day team they out there for make sure say they clean that dirty day. As to the cleaner, people they bring Adikam. People they bring out dirty on a daily basis. So always get a response team. I always want to say, are they outside nets? Me hear all of them plays in there for make sure say we sanitize it on a daily basis.
As they clean on daily basis, as you say, how comes the council they recommend places them or when they allow people to put dirty in a place like that way for be an eyesore for keep them clean always?
Not at all. We don't recommend no side.
So what do they do for prevent people not for put dirty in them places them?
All right. I did say first and foremost, not at all. For so they recommend them places and we all know say you understand we can the sanitation infrastructure. Nobody wants to say gap now day, Musa. If you look at the topography of Freetown, for example, a mountainous place. So if they live at the mountainside, what's to explain the reason why, for example, rain can come, you see plastic and then mega cola and dirty all over the street. Because most of it they live in mountainous places. And infrastructure in terms of good network for electricity and go the truck and go, it's very much challenging. So if somebody live there, the best way for most people, they prefer rain can and toilet dotina gutter, rain candle. That's the reality. So what do? We always make sure we provide a quick response, or make sure if like any rain can you go see we for Bay Road, or they Kissy Road, or they up going to make sure we sanitize them place and they. So like for instance, like model, one of your civic responsibilities as a good citizen, one for pay tax, Musa. Also, one of them don't pay local tax.
We pay always.
I not say it's not get evidence of that. That's number one. Number two, also make sure say when I abide by the laws, the rules, right? When I abiding citizen. Why people need to do in the parlor or the room or the bedroom? They don't need one. Or when they cook safe, when you cook, they clean for so you don't cook. And so you pack dots in a plastic before you dish out. So why do you want for treat public space? Then kind of disregard. It's wrong. Right? Because all of the sickness we get, tuberculosis, malaria, typhoid, and everything, they come out from the public space there. So people that forget their responsibilities as a responsible and decent citizen. So not just for managing place there. So if you put it in a plastic, for instance, or you put it in a bag, just put another location. They pick them up because we don't say for now, we don't for provide right sanitation bins all over the city. We know very much aware of that kind of thing. Hey, but you say put in a plastic na bowl, put in a bag na bowl. They will go spend 300,000 for go market. Up to 2,000 you go for buy back for put it there for 1 week for city council can take her.
Okay.
So it's really a responsibility of people. And people don't disregard that. And all the people they don't can say they don't even pay tax. So you say not pay local tax it as you say.
We were there so we so much tax.
You don't pay tax.
So nothing how we write as the civic duty as a
you don't pay
citizen.
nothing.
Anyway, we all lump it by the way. So now the issue about council getting brilliant idea them for keep the city clean, not a secret. So I don't come with a lot of ideas them. Where we can so now start with a full force, then on a slow down and all of that. Now with this night cleaning where you don't emphasize on, because the night cleaning are for where people are waking up morning, every side clean, space day. If somebody don't go to a dot and don't clear them. Sometimes if dog don't die in a skit with the door left, and ensure say the road is clear, safe and healthy for every individual. How you don't try for make sure say this idea be a sustainable one. Let not just be like council a normal idea of keeping the city clean. By the end of the day, we can see they're not able to continue again and sustain them.
No, I say for free, say this particular idea, it can't for stay. Right? We've been in it for the past 1 month, and they see the progress we don't make. Nobody will say this kind of lot of good thing. But even the last Freetonian will appreciate, say, the administration, they try for money sanitation, they choose for layback. We just want for also continue for build on this process. So if the new set of council go for come in, they go for make sure say they go for appreciate what you do and just continue this kind of spirit here. Right. So this is the essence. So nobody no because this kind of good job and choose say it deviates from this. Okay. We just don't set the stage, you understand, for continue. Any other person you can for just continue. That's the essence of transition.
We don't talk about our programs them. One we talk on sanitation. Before we conclude on this new road model, new road. Now one side we don't be notorious for dumping. Always. If them even clean day, they meet back, they don't dump the other day. What in the council they do for especially busy road like that?
Well, like I said, the things that we don't do, I will make sure say we strengthen. If you look at we plan up the explain one other for explaining it. One is security. So part of the security now metropolitan police and enforcement and do night patrol and also make sure say they push it together as them way they really do business on the streets. So that particular place would arrest past 6 people would impose fine past 3 million. They will not get for relent. I tell you, of course, we all know say we get infrastructure challenge with regards sanitation, right? So people living on that side and they are sure say because they not get the kind comfortable place probably for dump waste, then choose for the dorm that way. But that's say even the manner where they do them is very much appalling. Just put in a bag and put away. Council will just do some easy pickup. That's number one. Number two, we get private companies where they do waste service, where are waste providers. You can call them, you get the Mr. Clean, you get Jalisco, even city council, you get guys who groups them. Right, we came for call them for make sure say you pay them just for 2,000 leones and for get it to the dump site. So all of them structured in a place. I make I say for the very good citizen, one, pay tax. Number two, make sure say be very much law abiding. And number three, you do the things that were necessary for make sure that you protect your environment. All the sickness most of us will get some from the place and so people get to forget that responsibility. The environment get for be clean. So the thing we get for do one, we know the relent in terms of the night patrol they do and make sure so we do regular arrest for people where they dump the that place and number two also go make sure say if they do that kind of thing, let them in bags so you go make the pickup very much easy. But we not get for relent, we get for make sure so we continue for focus on that place and go after people in try for mess that place.
Earlier, you start to talk about one important thing we they run any institution we na the couple and also revenue mobilization. How it's like during this transition period?
Well, what we do first thing, the first week we make sure so we bring a team can together, include the Metropolitan Police, include all the business streams, right? Whether na business license, whether na property rates, whether na estates, because we shops that when a council property, we put it all together and make sure say they go out one for make sure say they enforce, also for increased compliance. Enforce in the sense we get people away from 2021 where they introduce this new mob tax system from 2020 where 21 will start effectively. Most people get areas they do not pay it 2021, 2022. So we go after that one day. We get people where they operate shops them, we will not capture them with database. We will meet any shop then we capture them. The one way they don't we make sure say you don't time that we should pay your business license for example don't pay we ask people for comply. So that in itself you don't bolster the revenue mobilization inside this 1 month. At the same for free say because of all of the structures we put the budget to budget so we for target 70% of revenue collection by His grace we must get there.
So back to the issue of say on the try for ensure say the sanitation aspect of the city become a reality for sure say the city always clean. This night cleaning we council they do now. Another view go they say this give some people the chance or go make some people feel say if they don't know say council and get for come 11, 12 for clear whatever they meet on the streets. This go they give some people the chance for letting they deliberately put and dirty out there on the streets. Because they don't get it believe now, say, I mean, by the 11, 12, when they do on operation for clean the city for up the next
well, anybody talks, so it's either, so say, focus and observe the city, or just a projecting personal feeling. But if you look at the state of the city, look at how the city the right style, or institute this night cleaning, and how it be the previous times, right? So I'll tell you, say, for example, that Model Junction, or whether that's Sakila Road for whether Parliament, all in place and before now, challenge always did it, right? So even without the introduction of this night operation, right? So now make I say the most important thing, one for make sure we do clean most of them places, we sanitize it, and not stop there. We just not limit labor force, despite the fact that it's very much overstretched. We keep some when at daytime that they go out and make sure the more parts of them places and when I saw. So the night operation is very effective, and you can see the results of that day. But also the one the way I feel say daytime they go for the rest after because you know that street say 4 o'clock in the morning. Wait till they came gonna host and for going to Sokoli. And I get a very good team where they say very much proactive, they get a lot of energy, all the staff in the council.
Why you think say this night operation for clean the city now one of the things we go make the city get its full sanity?
But now they see the results, except you know they work out.
But people are still to get dirty in a street. Any network on a common street, on must see dirty in somebody in the mouth or middle road and all of that.
I don't say as a good citizen we're not supposed to do that one day. But me say also it's wrong for let do clean, people they can walk, they see lonely. That's keep being a flop, it overflow, will not clean now. It's wrong. If you go to Regent Road by the hospital, there was a massive dump site there. We don't all like next to bomb. We don't clear that day. We'll make sure that the people there then we don't put bylaws and nobody not supposed to trade. If we're not trade today, we're not get responsibility.
We're provide option for them.
So there's a security
availability space for them.
Before now that place not to be dump sites. So now notion for let somebody can take a dump site. You get for call tricycle groups and for let pay them. You get for call private company. How you substitute just answer me. How you do you don't house?
I was boy they take care of that.
How
not to me, they pay people
it's
away
fine,
to
they pay people. So why the rest of the public not go adopt some kind of system? That's what we are saying. So because you want to be a very good citizen, that make you adopt them kind of approach. So I'd expect for that person for doing kind of thing. Just in case you say for pay the 2,000, but just put on a bag, bow. Put on a bag.
All the idea, not to anything new. I mean, for ensure the city clean. Why would I not try for make sure say una enforce, una give more strength to enforcement? For let people know say they not for do this at all. I mean way they in the city forget consciousness in the city for they things and the way for do for keep the city clean and all of that.
I don't say
when are the strength of the enforcement of council at this time?
I don't say part of the things that we make sure the night patrol of the metro them it yield dividend. Right? Like for example, that one prison model, we're able to generate up to 3 million just on fines. We don't make sure we don't make several arrest them. And each one with the arrest, we know they say again they can do. So we get for be a gradual process. This has been around for a long period of time. So you not just get for go away easily. But then we say not get for sit down. That make way for continue this process and continue to make sure say we sanitize one place. And most of the talk about revenue mobilization. And I think this is very key.
You don't talk on sanitation, you don't talk on security. Look at revenue mobilization. Earlier I ask you, what are some of the plans the Mona don't put in place? Start to explain them. But in 2018 plans where you've been to talk about revenue mobilization, one of the areas then we wanna look and increase revenue mobilization are through the banners them and also advertisements on the streets of Freetown. How it's like inside una revenue mobilization drive inside 2023?
Well, of course, billboards and banner na a major revenue stream nowadays. And like I say, from 2018, since we don't develop that database, we don't get a steady generation of income with regards billboards and banners, right? So the responsibility we don't get over the past 5 years since I don't in the council, for always make sure say a team go out and make sure they update, the database. If new banners can come out, if new billboards can come out, we have to make sure say we capture and bill the people. So that is really where we have been focused, and I'm sure we'll make progress year in year out in terms of billboards and banners.
If you don't make money out of billboards and banners, somebody go say 2023 or election year is a good year for the council. When they tax them banners, them we get for with politics?
No, well, actually, like I say, I was here in 2017, right? I don't meet.
Continue.
Yes, I don't meet any legacy when indicates say they've done the tax, political banners. Right. So since we're in the office from 2018 to date, we actually not the tax, political banners. That don't mean say not inside the law say for tax them. But we as council, not ever we don't take that kind of responsibility for tax people and for political banners.
What in the tapuna for ask the politicians or the political banners them or the parties them for pay for them banners them where they put across the city?
Well, not the stop way at all. Like I say, like collective decision, right? Where the political wing as well as the administrative wing is supposed to take, right? So, like I say, in 2017 we never did that. In 2018. They say the election time, we never tax anybody. So, like for Freetown City Council, like a normal way, if the new political wing then can say, going forward, every other political banner, including the one with the mayor or whoever they get for put out plus the councillors them, they need for bill them, then we can do that. But then beyond that, if you look at revenue flow, I'd say even before then, now be 160 million they come for billboards and banner. So if we were able to generate up to 870 million, now we are more than 1 billion in terms of billboards and banner. That's another remarkable progress. So not so political banners, not just one-off situation, they can't hold you back for make sure they will not generate the machinery revenue.
Now we look at the replacement of them banners them across the city. Whose control will not get over that?
Which control will get
the
over?
The placement, who's are if for day, who's are enough for day?
Well, the first people we don't for place banners, right? SLR gets a bigger function for play. Look at go for determining, the traffic flow, whether this is obstruct traffic, whether this is the right side, they did the right of way. They have that responsibility, and they apply to. We care for, right? And for make sure somebody display if we want to tax them. But in terms of the location, whether it's suitable, that's the responsibility of SLR and not Freetown City Council.
You talk about security earlier, we want to provide for the city, and you don't listen to two political parties. Then we don't make mention of the way they chair them banner them within the city. Whose role the council gets for work with other agents?
The one where they do establish business. Property rates, we areas listed on print from 2021 to 2022. We not pay. We go after all and the feeders who they get for now, has been a very positive response. So we are doing well because if we not do well, even the salary will say we don't increase by 2.4 billion all loans for 2023. We can't reach that target. The staff that wouldn't have the chief administrator in schools. So I'm very much passionate about this revenue generation and we get there. That is why even as part of my other responsibilities, we don't make sure we don't provide we don't the advanced process for procure one new van. Just for take the staff that are the field that generates revenue. Okay. Because this is really key.
Okay, now all of them here where they happen. So it's like from where you don't explain about how you don't try for fit in. As now you didn't at the end now, do you get that team them? It sounds so smooth and easy. Why you think you get things done in place na council now? What do you think you do what you consider as your best strategy?
Well, it's very simple. Yet in life, just you forget the ability for listening to everybody. Because people want to be heard. right? People will not sit on a negotiation table. Every person for the invoice more for the matter. So you for listen every person. So that's one of my they get for be respectful as well. When you get all of the attributes and they put under the table, there is no way we do the clean. We people that don't say they say they are not manage the rush for camp. We've been doing it for the past 5 years.
Okay.
Right? That is why if you go to council, ask for the chief administrator, they treat me like a rock star. Because I deal with every other person and make sure say Oma gets respect, listen to the problem and feel for solver.
One aspect of revenue mobilization, people really drive now this Freetown. When you go Freetown city center during the day, parking space are a very serious concern. They see some young people and they try for park people and collect. At the end of the day, when you come out, what's in that happen? What in the council they do in that regard for ensure say they monetize this aspect and then self get that couple within the race?
Thank you very much. What we do within this this transition, because even before this transition, even before the mayor go and me and into, we actually they always talk and say, not be like the state of the CBD. I mean, you go past and see black tires, you see yellow rubbers. I mean, it's just unsightly, right? So we make sure say we stop that kind of process. But then the street parking personnel always they say they face challenge with them, then they cripple them. The one where they park rent and this for let them say get and live in. So what we do, we make sure say early inside March we invite them to a meeting and tell them say no, listen, we get for make sure say one we make an activity become productive. So we forget them. We don't decide say we forget flashers when indicating that Freetown City Council give a mandate. They get for make sure to print more and post them. So all the tires and yellow rubber they will get for get rid of them at the street. Also, anything you collect from the end, you forget a percentage where I feel say one, you get the recognition, you get the security, and you say for generate revenue. So this is what we've decided to do as a council. We're going to take absolute leadership over all of them places in the way they do, but also get for work them gently. They will they'll make their small living, and they'll get the kind of backup from council, security wise, they might go, they will make sure they protect them. Because they say really tell we say many times people that can just go treat them in a way when they park without hotel, they say, "But clear, you don't get right for park, you don't get right for stop and then so they need the security of council. So we don't decide for hold that kind of meeting and they need an advanced stage for make sure say now we conclude on the agreement, get a flash as we need case it is a city council they contract them and all that kind of thing.
The area of this parking where so young man they put tire, not to just the CBD area, they happen at some other side them. Also the same method and approach where you reach, you park, at the end of the day, you give them small thing. In the engagement one I don't do with the young man them na CBD, I'm not going to ensure say this be all over, let be well coordinated and structured.
Well,
because sometimes they even if you come by Kutorodia, then street away the day, like if you're going to market,
all on
CBD.
Park
Day,
at the CBD
and all, even start inside and say, not to around CBD area, say people enjoy use this as a means of survival. So young man them just as you self state. How now they try to put most of them in a well coordinated manner.
That's the coordination order indicates, right? So we start first.
Now we are for the young man the way they do that.
We don't call, yes, of course. We don't bring the whole country meeting. The first target, you don't get for too much burden in the scope. You have to make do what you get. Not tackle first the CBD, right? The CBD now it extended to the Congo Cross, take an St. John, take up gone. Then side and then they first will try for sanitize. And we'll call all of them people where they operate at the side and they'll call into a meeting. We don't tell them what's the outcome, what the council they expect of them and how they for
what about
information.
People we get shop, but for let people and not block them shop view, you see themselves they put tire. For let people and not block them shop view no more. They put tire for ensure say that place is secure and empty.
Well, not to all side you supposed to not to all side you call say na parking bay we supposed to generate. So inside na pick up, na lay by and all that. So there's a difference. But if any area there, I should say the street parking agents and the team where they if this is an area where we require for let us to generate revenue, we don't decide for put robust strategy. Keep in mind what are you? 154 million and they collect before 2018. Now they're very close to $1 billion. So that means say the CBD, we don't make sure we don't really make sure we advance in terms of identifying locations, demarcate, and make sure we fabricate signpost them, and it's working. So just to continue for make sure we increase, you understand, on the approach of the
realize I need for do more because from where you talk, you just emphasize on the revenue collection, but yes, still people need the facility to be available. The facility not to be limited. You go still provide site for let somebody park, but until I just 10 car parking space day. It's still not enough. How much Freetown City Council realize say despite when I don't do certain things, there money to be done. The facility should be there because people are paying for it.
So one thing you have to understand, we're not going to change the shape, the size, and the nature of the city. So one of the things we'll do, if you go to city council, for example, we get a multi-story car park. If you're interested for parking car, if you want to say from 98.1, you want car park, just apply to me. Say I want car park in the city council. If you have 2 spaces, what I can provide you, you pay money for the 1 day. Right? So this is another way that they will generate revenue.
What are the projections during this transition period of revenue mobilization at the council?
Well, we want to make sure, say, if you look at the total revenue of something like 51 billion inside all loans, so if you look at, you divide it by months, it's only like 4 point something billion. So within this transition, at least the target like now 12 to 13 billion euros. That's one for generate within this 4 months period.
When we look at other aspects again, the quick one now this city, we now street trading and noise pollution, we done plenty. What in council do about that?
Well, the street trading, it difficult, right, at this particular moment for say we as administrative staff them will take the decision. We all can recall say that, I mean, this question can be asked severally, even by the political head, and we will say, oh, because well, people did not get work, understand, so most people they embark on informal settlement. So it's difficult for us, we really make sure so we tackle that in a young way. So what you get for them basically, for just make sure, say for instance, like if you go now Botomango, people they bring the market canteen as streets. So now make a tell about the security component. They met go then there for always tell us for let them push back. The same for Lumley, the same for Abacha's kitchen inside and day. So for now we just make sure so we sanitize and maintain the city as it is until such time when they don't done for instance the sewer grounds. And these are all government decisions. Then we go to work with the city council.
What about this noise pollution? Where speakers then done plenty now the CBD, even offices them within the CBD not protected from noise pollution.
Yeah, of course, the noise pollution day, we're very much aware of that day. And social services department, or whether we met with them, don't see several of them speaker box them. There's a message out there for really try for people to say this is not ideal. But then, like I say, every apostle will come, they try to look at say this is like living, and the city is so big. We look at the metro size. We just get about 120 to 140 metro for this whole city. So we can't be everywhere at the same time. So it's very much challenging because we get other infrastructure, the way the metro, the anchor. So if you look at the entire city, really in terms of operations, about 60 metro right across the city. So for let day also everywhere, it's very much challenging. So really, we are the continent, but it's difficult for a lot to tackle. But over time, we'll get there.
The revenue mobilization at council very important, and you just don't talk with who now they expect for collect. In any way, you see that forthcoming.
Of course, yeah, I mean, like I say, if we're not doing anything, how will I pay salaries? We don't go increase. We get for make sure say then thing they happen. Like a team, they do very much committed right now for make sure say do that kind of thing, right? So, in summary, like I say, good citizen, pay your tax, obey the law. That's very, very much important. And also, make sure so we continue to give city council because only way you pay tax, it's up to you. You go ask for transparency and accountability. But if you not pay tax, how you go ask for transparency and accountability? Well, I can't 98 months and they ask me this and that. And people have to pay their tax.
Thank you very much for joining inside the program today, Festus Kale, in the
and
Chief Administrator and the Freetown City Council, be there inside the program.